Welcome, Scorpio, to your Pisces new moon 1 month forecast for the ascendant, the sun, or the moon. At 28 degrees, this is the seventh and final new moon at that degree of a sequence that began last September. Incredible synchronicity, but it also occurs right at the end of the overall zodiac. As much as new moons can be about setting our intentions, I feel the transition that's in process could see you reaping the benefits of a lot of hard work you've done in the past. I'm going to share with you your event chart from a purely scorpionic viewpoint to give you a clear picture of what you can expect in terms of relationships, finance, energy, and work over these next 4 weeks. I'm astrologer Patrick Arundell. A very warm welcome. If you've yet to subscribe to the channel, please do so now to help it to continue to thrive. So there's the combination of the sun and the moon, the king and queen of the sky. A new moon is when they combine in a collaborative way. So the sun is very much about giving us the drive. The moon's much more receptive. Because you're a water sign, this is a very helpful new moon for you because it helps you to activate your passion, but in a very feeling way. But the host, in terms of the house, is house 5 for Scorpios, which can be very self-expressive in terms of talent, flair, artistry, fun, sociability. It can also be about romance. If you have children, it can also be about their fabulous talents too. But right at the end of the sign of Pisces, that's subruled, that last decan, by your traditional ruler of Mars. So that brings a bit more spice to the equation. Of course, your ruler Mars, traditionally, is also in the sign of Pisces. It can't go quite at the pace in the sign of Pisces because water creates resistance. But for you, the fifth house and Mars certainly gives you the desire to express yourself or the desire to get what you need in your life in terms of pleasure, which is what the fifth house can be about. What's not to like? Well, it's just at the start of February on the 6th, Mercury, the communicator, but also the planet of precision, moved into that fifth house and went retrograde on at the end of February and has been retracing its steps ever since for 3 weeks. So as much as you may have been showing that desire and passion and enthusiasm, it could be that somehow or another things have got a bit snagged. Not everything's gone exactly to plan. The course of true love never runs smooth, just comes to mind. But I want to reassure you, because of the lateness of this event, new moon's, of course, about setting those intentions. So if you want to bring more drama, fun, and joy into your life over the next month, you can do it. For sure, the planets support this new moon in a very helpful way. But also, I feel you could get the rewards for a lot of hard work you've done in the past. It sounds a bit more like a full moon, but I think it's because Saturn was going through this part of your scope for the last couple of years. So a lot of hard work you've put in could be about to come back. But because Mercury doesn't go direct until the 20th, just after the vernal equinox, those frustrations may be getting a little bit on top, but Mars on this event forges a stunning link to Jupiter. Jupiter's the planet of hope, expansion, can be, of course, fortune, the greater benefit. But since last June, when it moved into your sister water sign of Cancer, very much about trying to expand your horizons, but particularly through knowledge, but maybe psychological knowledge or anything to do with healing, caring. But the retrograde that has occurred in the last 4 months slowed things down. And also, when Jupiter pitched up, it was conflicted by the greater malefic, Saturn. And you had a juggle between what you wanted to do and what responsibilities and obligations other people wanted you to attend to. So at the moment, with Mars forging that link to Jupiter, some of the disappointment that Jupiter in Cancer may have created for you over the last 8 or 9 months can be swept away quite quickly. So expect the pace of whatever you're trying to achieve to gain traction very dramatically. Also, that combination is linking brilliantly well to Uranus. Now, over the last 7 years, Uranus in the sign of Taurus for us all collectively has been really challenging. But for you personally, it may have given you a lot of insights into what you need around relationships because Uranus is about higher truths. It's not an easy player, it can be very restless and disruptive. So there may have been off on situations around your romantic situation. But if there is someone that you're drawn to at the moment, the combination of Uranus to the Sun and the Moon and Mars being in that link to Jupiter suggests if you show confidence and really go for it, you could actually have some kind of sudden breakthrough, which really can excite you. And even if it's not innately romantic, something to do with a connection or collaboration, because the seventh house is very much about that, really can call out. Now, we also have your modern ruler, Pluto, in the long journey through that fourth house. And that's going to be ongoing to 243. 244 eventually leaves Aquarius. But on this event, forges a very strong link to Saturn. If you have been renovating a home, moving home, evolving as a family, or evolving deep within your emotions, you could start to really make sense of it over the next month, but in a way that brings a kind of balance between being very earthed and practical, but within that, expressing your talent or just your personality power. Because don't underestimate how much charisma you can demonstrate over this next month. But what if you're in a romantic relationship which isn't working very well, or you've come up with some good ideas, but you haven't quite been able to shape them into something more structured? I think the sun moving with the vernal equinox means it meets almost immediately the idealistic energies of Neptune, but by the middle of next week, the stern, cool energies of Saturn. So if you're finding that someone isn't that much fun to be with, maybe they're a little bit too predictable. You're looking for more excitement, drama, spark, passion. It's possible the transition, and that's why this is such an unusual new moon, so late in the year, immediately we have the new year starting, that you may have to quickly accept that what you want may not be quite as perfect as you would like. But that doesn't mean to say you shouldn't still set your intentions to go for it. And I think Mercury going direct is going to help. It's going to restore that spark of humor that may have been dimmed a little bit by the retrograde. Mercury can be very mischievous, but in the fifth house can also be very playful. Now, with the energy that I've explained to you collectively, what about money? Well, the fifth house can be about speculation, Scorpio. Because you're a very shrewd and canny sign, you don't often go for it without thinking carefully. And you have a talent for getting beneath the surface to really think carefully about what the options are, what the prospects are. But if there is something you're really enthused by, and you can collaborate with someone on it, there's a lot to say that you should trust your judgment because the water energy element of Pisces is about instinct. So just trust that Mars and Jupiter will give you like a celestial turbocharger to drive you forwards. But if you're feeling that your finances need to be a little bit more cautious, perhaps what's coming up for you is if you've got a job which it may be a good job, but it lacks a little bit of flair, you can't really express yourself. I think the sun applying to Saturn by the middle of next week could see you think about changing your job. Venus can also be about money. It's in the sixth house, but it's also in a very strong link with Jupiter. That 6/9 square is an intriguing one. If you do have an interview over the next month, I wouldn't promise you could do more than you realistically can, because I don't think it would be helpful. But that link between Pluto, your modern ruler, and Saturn suggests you can actually be quite grounded. So I think essentially around finance, Jupiter now traveling forwards in the ninth house can be expansive. It can be to do with speculation. Venus is saying in the sixth house, don't rush because Venus can be a bit impetuous in Aries, but Saturn's quite anchoring. So if you are someone who's more entrepreneurial, there's a lot to like on this event. If you're someone who's really enjoying expressing your talents, there's a lot to like on this event. But you just need to make sure with the transition into Aries that you are able to make sure that you can move from the idea and perhaps the ingenuity into producing something that's working practically and is functional. So that will be needed over the next week. As far as energy is concerned, Saturn's in your sixth house. You're going to have to pace yourself over the next couple of years. You can't do everything at once, and this collective is a kind of burning the candle at both ends energy. It's been a real pleasure being with you, Scorpio. If you've yet to watch your Jupiter Direct video, please see that on the screen. Your Mars in Pisces video, see that. You can get your free daily horoscope fired to your device each morning. Have a cosmic pit stop early in the day with your drink. Please see below for more. I've written them for many years. Or if you'd like to work with me directly, please see my testimonials below. If you'd like to order your personal horoscopes, the Life Roadmap really can help us to gain searing insights to the patterns that are played out in our life journey so far, the forecast, how to time our moves going forwards. 50% off if you apply Astro 26 at the checkout. Incredibly accurate, totally individual to each person. Great value. If you want the Soul Karmic version, please choose Draconic and apply Draco 26 at the checkout to get 50% off. All the best, Scorpio. Thank you and goodbye.